my EP2 is distorted. Just say distortion. Distorted. Go distorted. 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 And EP3. Distortion, you can use that word. Just go with your first instinct. Now let's have a look. Saxophone. Saxophone. Now I have mastered 1 EP original. That's my original file. Mastered EP2 distorted. That's my distorted file. The same track. It's a distorted version. Mastered EP3 saxophone. Now inside of the mastered EP saxophone, I'll actually place over here. I'll place a folder. I'll say stems inside this file, and you can go and grab it. Inside this folder, and now since I have that, I have to grab my original folders, stems. Now I have stem files in my original folder over here, and what I'll do is I copy them. I copy my exact stem files from my original, and what I do is I paste the stem files into my master EP3. It's the same stem files. I use the same stem files, so I just copy from one folder the audio files inside Windows. I select all of my files, I say copy, and then I go paste, and all my versions in terms of my saxophone, in terms of my stem files and audio clips from the first version is going to be inside of my Master 3 version, which is my saxophone version. Now for that, this is going to be now a different name. I'll say a different name. I'll name it all different names now. This can be now, for example, EP3. This can be titled EP3 for that one. This can be EP3. So I have to do this now so that I can just be more prepared. So it goes EP3 FLP original hat. And then it goes EP3 FLP original pitch kick. And now what I'll do is I'll use the same name for all my stem files. The same name. And I'll say EP3 saxophone melody. You understand? Melody. That way. And I'll just rename it, and I'll just copy it. I'll press Control C inside Windows to copy my text, and I'll press Control V to paste. Saxophone effects, saxophone effect 1, and then I rename this one. I'll say saxophone effect 2, and it can be 1 or 2, whichever. Now that's beautiful, it's there. That's the master version of my file 3. It's right there, it's ready. That's ready to go. Now all I have to do is I have to just grab the WAV file now of my FL Studio, track, and that way I can do me much better. Now these ones here, I can name them. I can name them all in the same fashion. It can be, why not? It'll be much more professional. EP2. This can be, what was it before? The build up, drop, hat, melody, pitch kick. This is the bass line. Baseline. Here we go. So just naming my files over here. This is the hat. So this is now EP2 FLP original baseline. Now it's going to be, and this is going to be a hat over here. Hat. So when I name my files all in the same manner, I'll get to see exactly how it all goes for me. Now I'm never the same. I just name files the same way when I need to. This here is the melody. I have to be careful. This is the pitch kick, so that I never rename my files in a different manner that I would regret. Pitch kick right here. Pitch kick. Now the drop. It's just very smart for me to do so. So look over here. Drop. Now I can do this in my own time. I'd rather do it now though. There we go. Now that's all named similar in a similar fashion. I can upload those stem files the way they are, and they're already named for me. They're renamed, so I never have to rename them again, which is a nice beautiful skill there. And now that's all looking excellent now. And now it's all in their own way, and I'll create over here a wave file of my track. Let's say wave, and I'll create also MP3, 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 and there's also a images, just say image. There's also video plus music plus layout. That's that. What else is there? There's also lyrics. I'll copy the lyrics of the track and I'll place it into this saxophone master 3 version. Now I have the folders there ready to go, and all I do now is I go get my MP3 version. I export the MP3 version and the WAV file. First I'll do the WAV file because it's more important. Do what's more important, guys, always. I go over here, I go One Hit Wonder. That's my album name. The track name, I let the track name be named by the vocalist. My album is something I name. The track, because she sings it, she can go and name it. That's just the way I am. Otherwise, say I wrote the lyrics, I would name the track. That's it. The WAV file. So this will be this is, let's say, EP3 original track wave. That can be there, and I can name that all in the same fashion. So when you have 3 different EPs and you create 3 different WAV files, make sure they're all the same name in different EP sections. So say EP1 original file, EP2 original file, and just name them with numbers so you can see. So you're just more preoccupied with yourself in terms of what you need to do. So over here is now the saxophone part. I would say EP3 original track over here, MP3. As when you say EP3 original track MP3, you'll see the MP3. When you have the WAV file, you say original track you'll say EP3 original track wave file or wave. Let's have a look over here. Those on my tracks now exported. It sounds beautiful with the saxophone. It's a saxophone mix. Now that's the Master 3 version. Now I have to make sure no matter what, I get the variants also. First I have to make all of this come true for myself. So what I do now is I have to present my work for this track as is. I have to master it. And it's already mastered. I just have to take the photo, I have to take the video, I have to listen to it from start to finish, and I have to record it so people see how it is. One second. What just deleted the drop? Find the drop, or better. Let's have a look. Now everything's excellent. There is drop, hat, pitch kick, baseline. The build up. Let's get the build up. Now we get the build up. Drop the build up in. Here it is. Now I have to be careful over here. Now I'll just name this drop over here. Drop. Has to be all nice and beautifully, let's say, organized for production terms. The drop can be in the second spacing. The hat, let's rename it hat, and that can be green color. It will be different colors. That can be behind the drop over here. The melody, it says original melody EP1. So this one I can delete. FLP original pitch kick. That's that one. So I'll just say pitch kick. Also in FL Studio, guys, make sure that you're renaming files never from the arrangement, never from the track list, all the way to the left here. Pick a color and just name it pitch kick or whatever. Make it something simple so people can remember. And so you remember mostly. I'm never doing it for people, I'm doing it for me. There we go. Make it a nice color, something that people can see. And so you can see most of all. Make it red. There's the red color. So look at it here. Look at that color there. And there's the baseline. It takes time, guys. It takes time to do all this. At least you're having fun with it. You understand? You're having fun with it, and you need to have fun. It takes time to do everything. Do it this way, baseline. Saxophone, FX, this one can be deleted. So this is all I do in my spare time. In terms of my life, I make sure to work on my music. So I can bring beautiful melodies, have like one hit wonder, do something amazing for myself. Now, the build up is over here. Let's say build up. Let it be that way. Now, the saxophone effects original one can be as is, as people can see it, and I can see it. As I can see it, I'm first in my life. That's the way. And now, this one can be the saxophone melody. saxophone melody. Can be renamed that way. This one can be saxophone effect 2. This can be saxophone effect 1. Also, guys, you can pick up how I do everything in life, and you can make sure, no matter what, be inspired by me, no worries. And my saxophone melody and all that can be the same color. I can do the same color for that one. Say do this one. Do yellow. Where's yellow? Let's do yellow. Do yellow color for all of them. Let's say A. These two go together. My actual saxophone could be a different color. It can be, let's say, this here. Let's say, let's pick a better color. Pick that color. Now I've got those colors. Now I take a photo. First I have to make sure that I place my beautiful time markers in. Alt T is intro / build. So always make it nice and presentable. Now over here I'll place my track to be. That's beautiful, it starts there. Now outro / build. And this track's going up today into my Mega Drive. You do one track a day, master one track a day, beautiful. It's very beautiful and very beautiful. So look over here, verse 1. Verse 1, and just say verse, guys, but when you're making verses and pre-chorus and choruses and drops and everything, just make sure that in the drops you put numbers. Everything else, just let it be verse. Verse, just let it be verse. No verse 1, verse 2, no such thing. In my intro, I have intro build because my intro is a build. And this one here is a build. Let it be. Now, let's see how I named. Just so I see, no matter what, you guys can also check, for example, how did you name and do your time markers in your other tracks so that you can have the same kind of layout in all your tracks. So I put verse there, verse build. It starts build. Alright, so I just copy me. I'll copy me. Why not? And this one here can just be named verse. Can just be the verse. Although that's what I can do. I can go and help myself. So for that there, just let it be. Let it be the way it is. Yeah, that's the way. This one here can be that way. Magnifying glass. So what I do is my verse. And it's much better to let it be this way. The verse is my build up for this one. So Alt T, you press Alt T in FL Studio, you'll get your time marker and your cursor in terms of your FL Studio verse. Now here is a pre-chorus. Pre-chorus, and here is a chorus. Starts the chorus over here. Chorus, now since that one is done, place it over here, just say drop 2. And I'll say over here, I'll place the build. Guys, no matter what, you're going to be working on these tracks anywhere and anyway, so you always be taking new images of the same track. You can always do that when you need to. You just make a nice beautiful draft. You make a draft all the time, and you can place everything all the time like this how it's supposed to be once you can really see what's going on. Sorry, Danny. Every time I hit myself, I say sorry, Danny. I never mind. I never mean to hit myself. This is drop 3. Drop 3. There we go. Now I take a photo of this just for nice beautiful presentation, and what I do now is I give it a test in terms of my FL Studio spyware in my FL Studio laptop, which is my Windows 10. I will test out the sound. Now I'll go and check that sound. Is it playing inside my spyware? Because sometimes it has no sound. It's working. And let's have a look over here. Audio. Now it's set to FL Studio ACO while my spyware is working. Before, what I've done, I changed it to my actual headphones. And it worked that way, and before it was never working on FL Studio ACO. So now that's something new I learned right now. I can use FL Studio ACO and be able to hear music through my headphones. And also I can use my headphone stereo to be able to hear my spyware play the music in the recording. So those are 2 ways I can do that now, just for my knowledge. Now I'll start this from start to finish. I record this one. So I'll go in my IGTV. So look. This is one variation. There are more variations I can do. Beautiful. I love it. Wow. I have to let my track play out so that I can really listen to it. It's a massive boost for hardstyle because my hardstyle drop is inside this track, and I have hardstyle in the drop of my track. And since I'm making 5,000 of these tracks, hardstyle will get a big boost from this. Ooh. No good. My pitch is off kick. My pitch is off kick. Why? My pitch kick. So I've learned something over here. My actual pitch kick. My pitch kick needs to be better. I see now what's going on. So that pitch kick came from, it came from my first EP album, which is why. And now what I'll do is I'll drop the distorted 2 file that has my pitch kick. That one has the kick on beat. Or I'll just make this one because I did boost the volume of this pitch kick. I boosted the volume on my pitch kick in my saxophone one, so I have to make sure that my pitch kick will also go into my EP1 album. And now my EP1 album is different. It's much different in sound and volume. Why? Because each track is going to vary in volume. I just learned that now. Now that is on beat. That's on beat. It's supposed to be that way. Just make sure that my kicks are on beat. Otherwise, the track is ruined. Now, what I'll do is for this kick, I just learned something. I just learned that my pitch kick for my saxophone part has to be just for my saxophone part. Otherwise, using a higher kick pitch for my first one never goes. Although I will check out my first stem file in terms of my one hit album. In terms of my album One Hit Wonder, I'll check the pitch kick there. It's on beat. From what I've seen, from what I've heard, from what I've done, it adds up for me. Now I can relate the stem files together to see, is my pitch kick doing it for me? Now my stem file, in my original file is showing me that my file is starting, one second, it's starting a bit later, so let's have a look at what's going on. So with that, I have to change my original file kick pitch. That's all excellent. That's all on beat. Let's have a look over here. Is it on beat over here? That's on beat. Let's have a look over here. So you have to be very cautious about this. Make sure that your kicks and everything is going into fruition. Now what I'll do is I'll export my kick pitch. Now I realize now that with my saxophone part 3, I did add a soft clipper to it. So I can write a little note, I can say a little note there, say that my changes over here, just to remind myself, I can read it. Otherwise, when you never write it down, you get lost. What I'll do is I'll just export now a beautiful file over here saying, hey, this one can start a bit earlier over here. There we go. All I'm doing right now is I am cutting my kick file to be on beat, to hit on the beat. Now, in terms of the on the beat, it's on the beat. My track is on the beat. Now I realized something, that it's delayed by, let's say, 1 second. 1 second delayed. Why? Or is it really delayed for 1 second? Guess what? Let's have a listen. No. And let's say I delayed it. Now the kick is gone. The kick is really, let's say it's on beat. The kick is on beat. Now what am I doing? That's what I was doing. So did I get scared? Yeah. Why? Just to be more sure. Now, what can I do over here? What I can really do is, I realize this now, I did learn something, and the way my kicks are at the moment is they're on beat. My kicks are on beat. So I can let it be the way it really, let's say, is, yeah. And let it be the way it was before, or this way. Now, how I did it already, prior to this one, is more than enough, huh? Yeah, it's more than enough. So I just let it be the way it is. My kick is already ready. It's already done. The way it is the way it is. This one here now is something different. This one here is different. And I can just let it be now. The way it is. That's the way it starts, that's the way it starts. It hits on the beat. So no matter what, I have to really check what's going on. Now that's excellent. Now all I can do is I can play it again. Now I did pick up some information here, and I realized that my saxophone pitch kick 3 has a beautiful soft clipper on it. Soft clipper in it. Soft clipper in it. That way I can realize to make a note of that. A little bit. That's excellent. You have to detail everything in your track to make sure your track's gone much better. This is what I do now. This is how I do my days in terms of my music. Da, 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 da. It has a different connotation to it, which is amazing. By means of, it has a saxophone that's really helping me right now. Thank you, Manuel. This track's ready for vocals. So just waiting on the vocals. Now I'm never waiting for anything. I'm never waiting for vocals. I'm continuing my life. I'm never waiting. Never wait for anything. I'm never waiting for vocals. And my bass and my kick pitch can be heard. Beautiful. Wow. It's amazing. and my original build-up is smashing it. Now in my Distorted 2 version, all I do is I add the melodies now, saxophone melody the way it is, and I test it out with the bass line. You have to test it out before you even say anything about it. Before you say anything about how something is, test it out and then see for yourself first. At the moment, I believe that you can go with my bass line. Whew. And the saxophone is really classical in my track. Oh my god. It's very beautiful, more professional. Now I still have to arrange the vocals around these tracks, so I still have to do better. My intro again starts the same way. Dun. Thank you, Manuel. Dun, 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 dun. Now that is, let's say, finito in terms of for now, and I'm still growing. Now what I can do is I can go grab that module. I can let it all be, and for that I can see that I can make a note. I can make a note. I can let it be. I can make a note on the actual stem file. I can say with pitch kick, I can just say soft clipper added. Just say soft clipper added. That's it. I can just name it that way. It's a note right there that says this is what the deal is over here. It's a different pitch kick. It's a different pitch kick. It's a louder one. It's a louder one. As a saxophone has, in terms of manual, has given me 2 effects with this saxophone that I added inside of the track, and I had to broaden my pitch kick to make it louder. Now my bass line can be heard. It can be heard. The bass line can be heard. So just check anyway. And now I'm ready to do my other track now. So since I've layered this track now, what I'll do now is I go do my distortion one. It's going to be much simpler for me to, for example, no matter what, when you have a track that you just completed, go and do your EP2 with the same module, just add the instruments and export it again. And that way you have your track 2 right away in terms of distortion. And then you can work on the other variances. Work on one variance first. That one there. Now in terms of that, I can go and handbrake it now. Why not? So what I'll do is I handbrake my videos in MP4 so that I can have a shorter size video. Did I type it? Start one. Here it is. this one here. The image, this is the image, that's how it looks. So I'll drop the image over here. Beautiful. That's that one there. That'll be. Now I'll go into my original track folder over here. My image. It's going to be the image guideline. Image layout guideline. So just a guideline. And that way, when you have a guideline for your track and how it looks via WAV file, people can see what you've done inside the track. So it's very beautifully presented. Properties to see how big my file is. Say MP4. So my spyware makes the file into an MP4, which is amazing. Now, because I upload the file into my IGTV and into my Vocalist Messenger source, I have to handbrake the video file so I can make it a shorter size, so I can also for myself post it into IGTV, which is in Instagram. I can use that recording with the saxophone I just did as a nice broadcast to say, hey, this is my new track, and I can promote myself that way. I change the video into MP4. Audio, always put 128 bit rate in terms of kilobytes per second in audio, because it's more than enough when you're exporting in Handbrake. What's this? Your destination directory is low on disk space. Please free up some disk space on your destination drive. Alright, thank you very much. This will open, I can delete all this. Empty please. I'm gonna empty myself. Now, no worries, I can just add that to where it's supposed to be then. I just do that for myself, and I can actually grab myself a nice beautiful SD card for my Livono laptop. Sorry, Danny. So that I can have more space in my computer. And I have to upload these files now also. I have to upload my videos, everything into Mega Drive. That's why my laptop is saying that your laptop is running out of storage space, so that no matter what, I have something prepared already. I have my Mega Storage. I just upload it all online now, and I remove it from my laptop. I remove over 40 gigabytes of information, and anything else that's covering my laptop space, so I upload it online right away. Always be on top of your content that you create. Maybe photos, videos, anything that you're doing in life, make sure that you're on top of it. Upload it online into an online storage right away, so that you can have more space for yourself. Otherwise, when you're taking all these photos, you have to put them somewhere. So putting them on a terabyte drive is very insecure. You can lose the terabyte drive and lose everything about yourself. Have an online storage. I go with Mega Storage. They have beautiful 80 gigabytes of free. In terms of free data space, you can go use 80 gigabytes. You can post 80 gigabytes worth of video, images, files online, and then you have to give some money. You give $7 Australian a month, and it's around $5 as well a month. You get 400 gigabytes, and then you go to 1 terabyte, you give $15 a month, and you keep going. So in terms of videos, captures, I'll do over here, behind the scenes video. And I'll put my captures from my spyware into this video here. Can go especially where it's supposed to go, and this one here I just post this one because anything FL Studio related will go into FL Studio related queries, and anything else can be posted extra with my band who I promote, which is my saxophone player Manuel, and I post everything in his folder. Now here we go, courses, I have that one. Now I have to create another module. I have to go album, I have to go to my distorted master EP2 file, get the stems here, and I'll drop it into the mix all at once. And then we're going to hear the distorted version. Now it's going to be a distorted version, guys. Here we go. It's going to be a totally new sound now. It's going to be a totally new remix right away. I dropped the file as it's remix already. How amazing is that? New sounds. Here we go. Now